Well, if my next guest had a business card, it would read, "Have Trotter will travel." Certainly Grant Forrest, very passionate about the Square Gator. I caught up with Grant following his commitments at Club Menangle today. Well, to say, Grant, you're passionate about the Square Gator would certainly be an understatement.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a family thing, and my father really got heavily into the trotters there years ago, and they're just a beautiful natural gait, and something that he's passed on to me, and I absolutely love them.
They can also be a lot of hard work.
Yeah, well, I think if you look at race 3 today, the best bourbon, she'd go up today, but that's part of having a trotter. You got to have a lot of patience and I suppose have a fair bit of skills to try and get them to trot all the way and do everything right, and you take the good with the bad.
Grant, fourth generation harness racing trainer driver, and you're telling me those wonderful colours, the brown and yellow checks, have been going around since the 1930s.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're not the prettiest colours or anything like that, and I get a little bit sick when some people say the Hawthorn colours, being a Swans fan, but my great-grandfather, he had them in the late 30s, I believe, late 30s, early 40s, and my grandfather had a different set of colours, but then my father had these colours, and it's just been something that's kind of been in the family for a long time, and I'm proud to have them.
Grant, your father, Greg, was always a wonderful supporter of the Square Gator. You got your love for those horses from him?
Yeah, he obviously I've only got 2 older sisters, and they wouldn't even know how to pat a horse, so he was pretty happy when I got into the trotters, and he's a very knowledgeable person, and he's got a pretty good name in the industry, and I learned a lot off him.
And how long have you been involved in training and driving now, Grant?
I officially got my licence roughly 10 years ago. After I finished high school, I went off to university and did a few studies and whatnot, and so I got into the industry a little bit later than what I kind of wanted to, I suppose. But I've had my driver's license probably 10 years and trainer's license for around 5 years, I suppose.
Now, how many horses would you have in the stable, and what would be the percentage as far as trotters to paces?
Yeah, well, we've got 15 in work at the moment, and there's only 3 paces, so 12 trotters, and I've still got another 3 or 4 trotters to come back into work at some point. But I've always loved having trotters, and that's what my stable will be going forward.
No doubt, Grant. Later in the year, you'll be looking forward to Merrywood. Redwood Day is always circled on your calendar. Yeah,
I absolutely love going down there. I actually went down there to Maryborough maybe last month with the best bourbon and Sally M, and I've already got it penciled in later on. It's just a trotters weekend, and it's absolutely fantastic. Huge crowd down there and a couple of nice races, so hopefully some of these horses improve a little bit between now and then, and I can take a few down.
Disappointing that another weekend that the Forrest family always look forward to was going to Coolamon.
Yeah, the Coolamon All Trotters Day was fantastic when Sam Nadeau got that up and going. It was really good for New South Wales trotting, and it ran for about 4 or 5 years, and I'm not 100% sure why it stopped, but I'd like something to take over from that going forward. But it was only about an hour from home when I was living at Henty, and it'd be really good if, whether the new track at Wagga or something like that might be something to have an all trotters meet going forward, but it'd be something that we'd look forward to getting back on.
Well, certainly, Grant, the trotter over the last 5, 6, or even 10 years has grown in stature.
Oh, it's ridiculous. The breeding, and a lot of it comes down to Pat Driscoll at Yabby Dam Farms for bringing out and giving us access to world-class stallions from Europe and America, and he's been absolutely fantastic for the trotter. And some of the times, like if you had a look at Ricky Alchin's 2-year-old today, went 158. If you said 5, 10 years ago they'd be running 158, you nearly would have laughed. But they're all up and going now, and it's fantastic, and I think that's the way of the future.
Also, Forrest Stud would be delighted at the fact that Yankee Spider's attracting a great deal of interest, but also a newcomer by the name of Dreamcatcher with worldwide credentials.
I'm pretty excited for the future, really. Yankee Spider, Spider Girl was an Australian 3-year-old, a 2 and 3-year-old of the year, and Forrest Spider was my best one, and he's left some really good winners over the time. I know he's getting on to about 16, 17 years old, but he's still doing a good job. My 2 2-year-olds today were by him. And then, I've done a deal with Pat Driscoll at Yabby Dam Farms to stand Dreamcatcher, and he's he's by Love You out of a fantastic North American mare, and he was destined for greatness until he broke down as a 2-year-old, and he kind of had a brief stint a few months ago, but I can't wait to stand him. I've already had a fair few of people interested in sending a mare or two to him, and I know I'll be sending a few of mine to him as well.
Yeah, apart from the stallions, you've also got about a dozen broodmares.
Yeah, so there'd be probably 12, 13 trotting broodmares and maybe 3 or 4 pacing ones there, and so it's always pretty busy. There's no downtime with us. Obviously, October onwards is pretty busy with the stud season and racing and whatnot, but yeah, I kind of really want to dig my heels into this industry and really see how I can go forward.
Well, Grant, as I said in the intro, you love getting around with your team of trotters, Menangle, Goulburn, Canberra. We can see you bobbing up 3 or 4 times a week, and also taking that odd trip down to Melbourne.
Yeah, that's right. So where we were at Hensey, we had to travel 3, 4, 5, 6 hours just to go and race a trotter sort of thing. So when I've moved over towards Bungendore, well, Menangle was roughly 2 hours 20 away, and I spoke to the presidents at Goulburn and Canberra about seeing if they were interested in running trotters races, and they've jumped on board, and the turnover's been really good on the trotters races, and then they're getting really good fields, and I couldn't thank them enough. And the pool is getting bigger here in New South Wales. A lot of people are jumping on board and getting trotters, and I really do think it'll go gangbusters going forward. With a couple of Tuesday meetings have been getting 4 and 5 trotters races on, which is unheard of, which is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to more clubs jumping on board.
You mentioned Forrest IV. Grant certainly added some nice trophies to the cabinet.
Yeah, she won a couple of Vic Country Cups for us, and we had her since we broke her in, and raced her up until she was 10, and she's now going to go off to stud and probably send her to Dreamcatcher, and had a lot of fun with her. She was fantastic, won close to 120,000 for us, and we had a bit of fun travelling around, and we just need to find another one to replace her.
In the racebook, it now appears Grant Forrest at Mount Ferry. Whereabouts is Mount Ferry situated?
Yeah, so Mount Ferry, it's not really a town. It's just I suppose an area, and it's between Bungendore and Tarrago, but it's in a bigger sort of scheme. It's between Canberra and Bateman's Bay, I suppose, on the way to the coast, and it's a nice spot. It can get pretty cold and windy there.
Just to wrap up, Grant, no doubt at the end of the year when we have the Inter-Dominion Carnival featuring the trotters this time around, you may be trying to get a horse into the stable that you'd love to go around in that particular series.
Oh, I'd absolutely love it, yeah. So when it's on your doorstep up here, and I've been going all right with the trotters lately, and yeah, if I can have something that can go in that, it'd be absolutely wrapped, and it'd be a real big thrill having it, especially in your home sort of state, so it'd be fantastic.
Well, Grant, thanks for joining us, and hopefully you may be able to get your hands on a horse good enough to go through that Inter-Dominion series. You certainly deserve it.
Yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate it.